I think it's really complex for clients to make sense of all the different approaches. By some estimates, there's around 400 different methods of therapy to deal with mental health problems. So to be able to make sense of 400 different approaches is terribly complex for clinicians as well as for clients alone. One way of maybe thinking about this is to ask the question, well, what is a mind? If therapy, whether it's psychology, counselling, psychotherapy, is about working with the mind, then what exactly is a mind? And the reality is no human being has ever seen a mind. We've all seen a leg, we've all seen an arm, and we know what it means to have a broken leg. But what actually is a mental health problem when the word mental applies to a mind? The way I like to think about this is that a mind is simply a construct. It's something we have come up with to make sense of the inner world that a person lives with. And the mind, how it's spoken about in mental health, encompasses our emotional world, and it also encompasses our relational world, so how we relate to ourselves and people outside of us. If we think about all these different approaches, which can seem terribly complex, one way of simplifying it is to think about them as languages, of ways of explaining the phenomena of the human condition, ways of explaining suffering, ways of explaining what it's like to have emotions, what it's like to make sense of emotions, and how we might do that. And for people who are interested in perhaps embarking on a journey of psychotherapy, then thinking about these different approaches as languages, then asking themselves, well, what language do I use to make sense of my inner world? What helps me? What language speaks to me? What language enables me to make sense of how I'm thinking and feeling? And that's a good starting point, I think. Ultimately, it is a relationship that heals. Research has increasingly shown that irrespective of what language or what method a psychotherapist or a psychologist uses in working with their clients, actually the change takes place in the relationship, which is constructed between the psychotherapist and the client, and it's an active process, and both are equal participants in making that happen. And that is where the capacity for change really sits.